Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the final stage of the Ultimate Red Zone GT event in Dbz Dokkan Battle Global. So obviously guys, the final event is against Syn Shenron. Well, technically it's against the Legion of Shadow Dragons, and then it is against Syn Shenron, and then it is against Omega Shenron. So yes, it is a pretty tough challenge. Obviously it's pretty rough. It's one of the hardest stages, and some people find it to be the hardest stage. Personally, I felt like the Ginyu'S gave a pretty good time against it. It's a tough event, but it does have some things that do make it a bit different from the other ones. So the first thing obviously to take note, at least for me, is that the first phase, Syn Shenron does have the ability to stun you, he does have the ability to seal your units. He also has the ability to lock units in place, to change key spheres. He does a lot, but he can be stunned, he can be sealed in the first phase. So you do have an element of control. That's where units like Raccoon and Gilda are pretty good. They help out a lot from that perspective. Their ability to seal and stun him really allows us to kind of push forward. So you do have the ability to control the first fight quite easily. The second phase, although quite challenging, I don't necessarily find as tough as some of the other second phases. Obviously, for this team, the Ginyu'S team, we do have a pretty solid advantage against the second phase, the Syn Shenron in the second phase, because he is strength type. So we do have a natural advantage to him. Obviously, two of our premier units being strength type. Our main goal is just to get Raccoon and Ginyu through that phase. Now, obviously, because of the fact that the first and final phase are int typing, generally speaking, you do want to have physical units in your team, because that is going to help you out in taking out those phases. That being said, you do need to be very aware of the second phase, which is obviously strength type, because that is going to give you issues, it is going to give you problems, and you do need to just be careful of it. You can't just discount it, you can't just, say that you're not concerned about it. So please do be aware of those type of things. Don't just bring all physical units. You will struggle against the second phase, the strength phase against Syn Shenron. Now, with all that being said, Syn Shenron, the second phase, he doesn't do as much as the first phase. He can evade attacks and he randomly changes key spheres, but he can't really do anything. Like, he doesn't lock you in place, he doesn't seal you, he doesn't do anything like that. So that is a little bit, well, that is something to be aware of, but that's kind of what makes it a little bit better. Now, we bring a pretty interesting team to this event, a team that has pretty good time here. So yeah, for me, I didn't really have as many issues with this event. You will see that I use the Planet Namek support memory. I do like using that support memory with the Ginyu'S team. Just gives them those extra bits of stats that really help to push them forward. Another key thing here is that you can evade Syn Shenron or Omega Shenron, or the Shenrons. So you can essentially beat them. You can definitely take them out and evade. Like, the evasion is crucial. It does help you out a lot, the ability to evade his attacks, and it is crucial because his final attack is very, very hard. The end phase launches a very huge one-hit KO, and obviously it has a countdown towards that one-hit KO. Bringing units like Jace, having Ginyu transform and give us the ability to force these super attacks will just allow us to see where those attacks are and have a little bit of a better time. Omega Shenron fires a 1.5 million damage super attack, which is incredibly difficult to take with any unit. You're going to struggle to find a unit that just soaks up all of that damage. So, like, very few units are going to be able to raw take that damage, with just their raw defense. You're going to need damage reduction, or you're going to need weak items, or you're going to need evasion to get through that event. That's generally the best method of taking it on. Otherwise, the best, you do want to have high defense to take the normal attacks. So yeah, there is that element of obviously building around the big damage from the super attack, but you still have to have a team that can handle all the different phases of damage that this event brings to you. It's very important that you kind of understand that, that you are going to be taking on an event that's, I don't want to say designed for speed, but an event that is and can be quite demanding of your team from the get-go. The ability to be locked into place is a very RNG mechanic, and it can make or break a lot of people's runs. It can make a lot of people feel like it's unfair, and very similar to BoJack from the hero event, from the movie bosses red zone. It removes a lot of your player agency, and I feel like that generally gives players a hard time, or makes them feel, I want to say, undervalued or not as in control of their team, and it can kind of break a little bit of your enjoyment or fairness of events like this, I feel, because sometimes you may just have 3 terribly unlucky runs where your unit is placed in the first slot against the Legion of Shadow Dragons and gets supered and dies. Not every team is like the Ginyu team, where the units are very strong from the get-go and get progressively stronger, but also not every team has the spectacular utility that they have. You have units that guard, multiple units that guard, multiple units with evasion, multiple units that have high raw defense. You have the ability to force these super attacks with Jace on the team. You have the ability to really just control a lot of the fights. And so I think the Ginyu Force is always a prime example for Red Zone, but it's an especially good team for Omega Shenron because of the fact that it just has so much going for it. It has so much control. And you'll see I leave units like Jace on rotation just to keep giving me constant control. Even though Jace is going to take more damage, he's going to take 30k, he's going to take 40k, sometimes he even takes 60, 70k damage. I try my best to keep him on rotation where possible, because taking 100k is fine. Taking 100k and being able, to handle the events and place units that are then only going to take 100k from the super attacks is far more valuable than, like the 100k I lose keeping Jace on rotation. And I think that's where the Ginyu Force build really helps, and the Ginyu Force build or the Ginyu Force team really thrives comparatively to other teams. And it's in that ability. It's that ability to just have good levels of control in an event where control is taken away from you. So I think it gives a lot of power back to the player with their ability to guard, evade, see super attacks, recruitment Ginyu, seal and stun in the first phase. And I think that gives you a lot of strength. I think it gives you a lot of strength, a lot of ability to control things, and yeah, for the most part, you're going to find a lot more enjoyment in that. Obviously, not every team does that, and the Ginyu Force is a great team for Red Zone. But if you can try and understand the need to bring utility to these kind of events, if you're running a fusion team, bring units that evade, bring units that guard. Jenembu is a great example of a fused fighter unit that you can use, who really gives a lot to the team, and you should look at using him. And it's for things like that. It's his ability to really control the event. From my team building perspective, obviously, I had to decide between units like Raccoon, between Raccoon and units like Berta. Generally, I stuck with Raccoon. He can take damage. As you can see here, he's taking damage when his guard doesn't activate. But at the same time, it's a gamble you take, because in the final phase he's going to bring a lot to the table, and you're going to need that, because very few units can withstand the power of Omega Shenron's attacks, and 100% Raccoon is not going to be able to stand one of Omega Shenron's super attacks, but he provides a great basis for a unit that can just take normals, and he can just take normals all day. He can eat normals every single day. And the thing with Omega Shenron is if you survive the super attack, you just take normals from then on for about a turn and a half. And that's the thing, is it survives super attack and then just tank normals. Survive super attack, tank normals. Survive super attack, tank normals. And it is important. It is important to do that. And you can see here, I'm electing to transform. I know I've got the defense. I know after I stack attacks, I'll have more defense. But I need the heal. I need the control back. And it's very, very important. It's going to give me a lot of strength in my team build. And also the ability to foresee super attacks. Or a high chance of forcing super attacks. So it is just super crucial to constantly maintain control in these events. So yeah, obviously, you know, the Ginyu'S team is pretty self-explanatory at this point. I think everyone's seen me use it quite a few times. Obviously, double AGL Captain Ginyu'S leads. Then you want Raccoon and Gilda. We're using Jason Berta because of their ability to evade. And like I said, evasion is not disabled in the final stage. So we're definitely going to use that evasion. And like I said, I went with Jace. I think Jace is great in this event. He does a fantastic job in foreseeing the enemy's super attacks, and I think that's fantastic. I think foreseeing enemy super attacks is really, really powerful, and it can really, really help you like a lot. So it does help. It helps to keep this team running, and it really controls how much damage I take, and I think that's crucial. It's crucial to me. It allows me to really control what's happening, and I valued that a lot in this fight. I think it gave me a lot of power back against Omega Shenron. So yeah, that's pretty much it from a team build perspective. Like I said, there's not too much. It's the Ginyu'S, so there's a very limited selection. I did choose against bringing units like the AGL Golden Frieza or the Tech Golden Frieza. Obviously their huge damage reduction is great, but I didn't feel it was necessary to bring that against Omega Shenron. I don't like it. Does help. You can throw them in the way of the super attack, but I didn't think it was necessary because I feel like you could rely on the Ginyu to take the attacks, and that's basically what we do. We use Ginyu to really control the attacks and to really take all of the damage and all of the attacks, and I think it's a good strategy to do if you use the Ginyu'S team, because Ginyu obviously is a big source of their damage, so it is a bit of a shame to force him off rotation sometimes, but I just feel like his ability to tank is so good. You pop a Whis item, he's already got 700, 800, 900,000 in terms of defense, and he tanks really, really well. It's crucial. Like I said, it helps so much. There are limitations to it. Omega Shenron's firing a 1.5 million attack stat. You need to build up your defense before you try and take that on. But at the same time, it just has to be done. And he just excels at that. Ginyu just excels at that so much. He does so well, and yeah, he just brings so much to the table. I really, really, really enjoy him, and he hard carries a lot of runs, but he did really, really, really helped. So yeah, overall, I think this run was perfect for the Ginyu'S. This was a perfect fight for the Ginyu'S. They excel here, and I think that's proven. That's proven by how much damage they do. I don't think Omega Shenron, Syn Shenron, or any of the Shenrons are super duper tanky. They don't feel incredibly tanky. They have health bars, but they don't feel like they have huge damage reduction, which means you need to bring damage. Like, as you can see, we're managing to knock off bars of his health. It's not like he's... Yeah, okay, that was a 4 million crit, to be fair, but it's not like he's invincible. You can see here, even just Ginyu'S type effective attacks are doing noticeable damage. And I think, they're not mega tanky. They hit hard, but they can be hit hard. They're more on the glass cannon scale of bosses, which I think makes the event quite fair. Because in reality, you should only be facing 2, maybe 3 of the Omega Shenron's like super attacks, and I think then you should be in a pretty decent control space. Like here, obviously it's a bit of a gamble because he's on a 3 countdown timer. There is the possibility that he launches that super attack, and he will launch it at Raccoon and Ginyu. I mean at Raccoon and Gildo, but that's exactly what you need to do. You need to place Raccoon and Gildo in the way. They're going to get their defense raised by the physical Ginyu, which is fantastic. He's going to really boost them up, which is awesome. And also the Jason Berta are providing obviously a lot of support to them. But you just need to trust the system. Now Raccoon and Gildo are one of the few units that can tank his super attack, and they are very good from that perspective. But that's what I'm saying, like you always need to anticipate the super attack going off. If the countdown time is on 3, anticipate it going at the back end of the turn. Don't think it's not going to happen. It will happen, and you just need to be prepared. You need to be ready. You need to understand that super attack is on the way. It is coming, and yeah, just be prepared to obviously tank it and have your best unit in the way. Don't be scared to move your best unit off rotation. Move them off rotation. Let them tank the damage. Let them tank the attack, and you'll be good to go. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's everything you need to know. Now, obviously, we're in a very strong position. Our team handled it more than fine, and Ginyu Force is an exceptional team, so I can't really comment too much about that. But at the end of the day, I think, if I could give any tips, I would say do your best to bring at least 2 or 3 physical units. Make sure that the units you do bring have around 200-300k defense. You should be fine in the strength phase with the Whis item active if needed. And yeah, also just try and bring what control you can. Bring heals, and then you're going to need 1 unit, whether it's high evasion or super high damage reduction. You're going to need at least 1 or 2 units that you can throw out to just absorb his super mega ultra super attack. As long as you can do that, and you have a Whis item active and you have the damage, you'll be able to get through him, and you'll be able to get through it fine. So don't be scared. Don't go ultra defensive. It's 1 big super attack, so you just need 2 units pretty much that can soak that damage with a Whis item preferably, and then you'll be able to knock him out with the rest. He doesn't hit hard on the normals. Don't go full defensive. It's not like Broly. It's not like a situation where every unit's going to be taking damage. You can really soak it up. And if you're worried about the timer, it's because I had to go eat dinner. But yeah, that's it for GT Edition. All done and dusted. Overall, pretty fun experience. Now it's time to test out units against Omega Shenron and see how well they do. But yeah, just to see how units do in general. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, and see you next time. Bye.